The Guardians of the Galaxy, that ancient and noble group. Okay, ancient might be a stretch. Nobody really talks about their powers. In today's video, we're going to cover all the powers of every Guardian of the Galaxy, including the lesser known ones. This video is packed with things you've never heard before. If you're ready, let's jump to warp speed. Peter Quill, Star-Lord. This man, hurled billions of light years from Earth, decided to call himself Star-Lord. This seemingly ordinary guy does, of course, have powers. Basic level space combat, a decent shot, a fighter who wields 2 quad blasters. Is that all? Of course not. Who are we talking about? Ego, naturally. Peter's father is Ego, a living planet. Because of this, Peter carries a cosmic force called the Light. You'll recall he was able to hold one of the Infinity Stones bare-handed, something even Thanos, the most powerful Titan in the universe, couldn't do. For Peter to use this power, Ego has to be alive, and we all know how Ego's story ends. So in the films, Peter loses his cosmic abilities and continues on as a regular human. That actually makes the character more relatable. In the comics, Star-Lord's signature weapon is the Element Gun, a legendary device that combines all 4 elements: fire, water, air, earth, in a single weapon. Director James Gunn deliberately left this out of the films. He didn't want to introduce too many new elements in one movie, so he replaced it with the quad blasters. Also, in the comics, Peter's armor allows him to survive independently in space. His helmet lets him breathe in the vacuum. And most importantly, comic book Peter is a leader on a galactic scale. In major cosmic wars like Annihilation and War of Kings, he forges alliances and governs galaxies. So, do you think MCU Peter or comic Peter is better? Let us know in the comments. Gamora. I'll be honest, Gamora is one of the MCU's most poorly handled characters. The cool woman from the comics simply isn't there on screen. You'll understand what I mean once we get to the comic side. In the MCU, we know Gamora as Thanos' adopted daughter. Thanos raises her to be the most dangerous woman in the universe. Superior reflexes, extraordinary close combat skills, and the enhanced biology of the Zinwuberians. In other words, a warrior, and that's about it. In the comics, Gamora is given the title the Unconquerable, and it's meant quite literally. With her blade, she can stand her ground against divine beings. We did see a similar sword in the MCU, but it never carried the same weight as it does in the comics. Additionally, during the Infinity Watch storyline, Gamora possesses the Time Gem, granting her precognitive abilities and raising her threat level to a truly universal scale. This is the story of someone who challenged Thanos repeatedly and backed him into a corner. Now be honest, MCU Gamora or comic Gamora? Which is better? Rocket Raccoon. Rocket is a weird one, but he's a genius. He builds various gadgets, repairs spaceships. In the MCU, Rocket's greatest power is his intellect and technological adaptability. He produces operational equipment from virtually nothing. Personally, I find this gets a bit absurd after a while. It stretches believability. Compare that to Tony Stark, who built his first suit in a cave, but it was explained so logically and scientifically that he remains the MCU's most credible genius to this day. By the way, you should definitely check out my video where I break down Tony Stark and his arc reactors with all the logical explanations. In the MCU, Rocket's only real power is his intelligence, nothing else. In the comics, Rocket grows up on a planet called Half-World, a strange, isolated place, where he takes on the role of guardian and protector. But the biggest difference from the film is this. Comic book Rocket takes on an active leadership role in major cosmic wars. During Annihilation Conquest, he's a critical part of Star-Lord's team. In the films, he's used somewhat as comic relief, but in reality, he's a far more tactical, far weightier figure. Which Rocket do you think is better? Groot. I am Groot. A tree that says this one sentence in hundreds of different ways. But Groot's powers go far beyond his words. He can reshape his body, extend his limbs, emit bioluminescent light, and regenerate almost completely from nothing. That final scene in Guardians Volume 1, a tiny twig, a new Groot. Is baby Groot cuter, or was the original Groot more powerful? I'd say that's debatable. In the comics, Groot is actually far more intelligent and speaks a complex language, but only members of the Flora Colossus species can understand it. I am Groot is essentially a translation limitation on our end. What he's actually saying runs much deeper. Also, in the comics, Groot's regrowth ability is far faster and more dramatic. He's a Flora Colossus with an extremely high biological adaptation capacity, capable of surviving even in space. Personally, I think comic Groot is better. I still can't bring myself to say the MCU version is better. Let's keep going. Maybe something further down the list will change my mind. Drax. Okay, I'll be honest. MCU Drax isn't bad. His physical power is immense. He goes toe-to-toe with Kree warriors. MCU Drax is portrayed first as someone seeking revenge on Ronin, then as a figure hunting Thanos. That's about the extent of it. But in the comics, there's much more depth. In the comics, Drax was once an ordinary human named Arthur Douglas, living in Colorado. He lost his family because of Thanos. Thanos believed they had spotted him. Arthur lost everything, though his daughter Heather survived and was raised by Mentor. She would later become Moondragon. The cosmic entity Kronos then placed Arthur's soul into a far more powerful new body and gave him a single purpose: stop Thanos. That's why he's called the Destroyer. The MCU simplified this backstory considerably, but the original story is far more cosmic and far more tragic. Nebula. How many of us love Nebula? She has one of the MCU's best character arcs. Her body, half cybernetic, is constantly being upgraded by Thanos. Every time she loses, another part of her is replaced. It's a story that's both powerful and brutal. In Endgame, she's at the center of the time travel plot, and that's where her character's depth truly shines. Now let's get to the most interesting part. And of course, the really interesting material is on the comic side. In the comics, Nebula claims to be Thanos' granddaughter, but this turns out to be fabricated. There's no real blood connection. She uses the claim to bolster her reputation. Her biggest moment comes in the Infinity Gauntlet series. While Thanos is distracted, Nebula seizes the gauntlet, heals herself, and becomes the most powerful being in the universe, if only briefly. That scene is an incredibly powerful moment that hints at what the character is truly capable of. The MCU's decision to never use this storyline is a genuine missed opportunity. Am I wrong? Mantis. She has the strangest power in the MCU. When she touches someone, she can feel their emotions and even put them to sleep. In Infinity War, we saw that she could render Thanos incapacitated for hours, which shows just how critical her power is. It's also revealed that she's Ego's biological daughter and Peter's half-sister. Believe me, all of this feels dull compared to the comics version of Mantis. In the comics, Mantis is one of the most important cosmic characters in Marvel history. She carries the title of Celestial Madonna. She was prepared for this role by the Kree priest of Pama. She was to unite with a member of the Kotati race and bring into the world the most important being in the universe. And it actually happens. Her son Sequoia, also known as Koi, is born, the Celestial Messiah. On top of that, Mantis's combat abilities are almost never shown in the films. The fact that the MCU reduces her to simply putting people to sleep feels like squandering a gold mine. In the comics, Mantis knows nerve strike techniques that can neutralize even Thor. She has precognitive abilities, can communicate with plants, and can perform astral projection. I'm not even going to ask which version is better. Let's press on, hopefully. Now that we've gone through the whole list, it's worth saying this. MCU films can't always cover every aspect of characters who've appeared across hundreds of comics, all within 2 hours. I accept that, but some characters are handled so poorly that even that excuse doesn't hold up. Which characters do you think were portrayed better in the MCU? Write your thoughts below. Should this series continue? Let me know in the comments, and let's keep the comparison series going. Don't forget to like the video. See you in the next one.